Hey everyone, welcome back to the garden. I know it's been about a month since I've posted, and I'm sorry. Life has just been so busy. I'm an educator, and if you know, you know, May is crazy. But look how beautiful this allium is. It is so pretty. We're going to get started here with the garden tour. This is some of my peppers and onions that we planted a while ago. Here is my garlic. It's looking absolutely gorgeous. It should be ready to pick by July. And then on the other side, we have some volunteer sunflowers, and these lower ones are leeks. In this bed, we have our strawberries. We just had a lot of rain, so you can see everything has a fine layer of dirt on it. I cut back that oregano plant in the corner last night, so it looks a little rough. And then over here, I'm just going to show you where the groundhog ate some of my tomatoes, which is new. He usually leaves the tomatoes alone, so we have a new problem to combat. That's okay. Here are some volunteer potatoes. Clearly, I missed some last year. And then a calendula. This calendula is so pretty. It looks even better in person. Behind that is lettuce. Let me get a better view for you here. And here it is. It looks so good. I need to come out and take off the the outer leaves. And then behind that, we have celery and a big Savoy cabbage and some dill you can see right at the front of the screen. And then behind that is some Romanesco broccoli. This bed looks amazing. I plant really close together. I'm sure you can see that. I don't have issues with it. Everything grows and does well. And I don't have a lot of space, so I kind of have to do that. Here's a closer look at that dill. And then there are some beans on this trellis that look absolutely dreadful. I want to keep it real with you guys. Like, those are dead. Those are dead. Right here's one that's pretty much dead, but it does have some new leaves, so I'm allowing it to stay there. But I did plant new beans along the trellis this morning as well. And here's a parsley. This is my rhubarb. It's looking awesome. It's the second year for that rhubarb, and then some different herbs. Here are some beets that I clearly planted way too close together, so I need to thin. Whatever. It is what it is. A cucumber and some squash. And then there's a little alyssum. Over here are some beans that actually look really good. These are Blue Lake pole beans. And then in this bed, this is a new bed for this year, I have some calendula, some onions. In the back, that's an entire row of banana toes tomatoes. I actually got those seeds from a lady who passed away last year, and I've grown them for the last few years in my garden. She passed away last year, and I just like to keep them growing in there just to remember her. Here's another look at the Romanesco broccoli, and there's some basil right under it, as well as a strawberry plant and some alyssum. This back bed is a cucumber bed. I have the hardest time growing cucumbers. The bugs attack my cucumbers every year, the bugs and the birds. These are potatoes that I planted in the back half of the bed, and then in the front are some lunchbox peppers, and then in front of that is some carrots and a little bit of basil right in the corner. This bed is one zinnia and then some different squashes all around the outside, 2 pepper plants, and a few flowers. Earlier in the year, I said I wasn't going to do beauty in my garden. Well, that's a lie. I just can't help myself. Here's some slicer potatoes, different heirloom varieties. We have everything in here from Black Krim and Cherokee Purple, Dr. Witchies, or however you say it, orange accordion, all different kinds. This is my row of cherry tomatoes along this side. We have Barry's Crazy Cherry, Tropical Sunset, Purple Bumblebee. I'm just showing you here. This stuff falls from our trees. I need to come out here once it's dry and sweep it up. It's just a mess and all over the garden. And then this is our cabbage bed and kale bed. So all different types of kale and cabbage. This is the first year planting it in this bed, and they are doing really well. In the front, we have some dino kale, some scarlet kale, and then some blue dwarf kale. My favorite type of tomato is the Berkeley tie-dye. It's just a really delicious, rich, dark tomato. If you haven't grown it, I highly suggest that you do. A Savoy cabbage, and then along the front here, just some onions and some parsley, and then back there's my lettuce again. Here are some cabbages that I have planted outside the garden. The groundhog found those this week. They've been in there for about a month or so, but he found them. So I have this little cage around it. The one is out in the open. We'll see what happens. And then there are a bunch of different types of peppers, some hot, some sweet in this area like YOLO. I just pointed out a sunflower that I'm growing. Right here is a Mexican torch sunflower. If you've never grown them, oh my goodness, so pretty. Bright orange flowers, and it's like a bush practically. It flowers the entire season. It's not just like one sunflower. It's really pretty. And then over here we have some chocolate habaneros and some more onions, and then 2 melons are growing on the vine or on the trellis. I can't remember what they are. Maybe Minnesota midget. I'm not sure. Here we have some calendula and a bolted Cimarron lettuce. Really disappointed in that, but that's okay. Some carrots and some eggplants. I've never been able to grow eggplants successfully, so I'm trying them in a bunch of different areas in my garden in hopes that something grows. So I was planting a few things down here. This is kind of a dead zone in my garden. Not a lot grows. So I planted some raspberry bushes. The ones that we planted in the one video that came from Sam's Club. Anyways, these little mushrooms, I put spores out last year, and I did get some mushrooms last year. But look how cute these 2 little mushrooms are. They're wine cap mushrooms, and they are awesome. I'm letting a lot of them break down this year just because I want to get more spores in my soil. But I'm sure at some point this year I will harvest some to eat. Let me show you some that are past their prime, and you can see they're just starting to, fall over, and the spores are going to spread from them, and it'll just inoculate this entire area. So here is my Roma tomato bed at San Marzano's and Roma tomatoes, and I have them 3 across the whole way up. I'm going to do the weave method. I know, again, these are very close together, but we're giving everything a shot. There's a regular broccoli. There's also some peas growing on the back fence, and I am really excited for this area of my garden. Here's some lettuces that are growing as well. And then on this very end of the bed, you can look right here. This is an artichoke. This is my first year growing it. It's way behind. I should have had this thing like so much bigger by now. I don't even know if it's going to do anything, but hey, we're giving it a shot. There's also some onions and some calendula in there as well. And then there's a shot of the peas. They should be flowering here probably in the next 2 weeks or so. So hopefully we'll get some great peas. I feel like they're a little bit behind this year, but that's okay. And here are my strawberry containers and my new green stalk. I'm going to be doing a video on that as well. These are the overwintered peppers that you guys have heard all about. Here are some shishitos. And then, actually, I think those are pepperoncinis. And then the other pot is jalapenos. And with that, we're done with the garden tour. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and I hope to put out a lot more videos soon.